Okay, welcome everyone. This is the 4th episode of the Mark D. Ask the freaking Mark D show, whatever the name is. Now we've got Jonathan on the line, and Jonathan wants to know about bulking up, how to bulk up properly. He's been doing it for some while. He's not sure with his results if they're good or not, and he's also interested in the diet side of things and supplements. So if this is something you're interested in, stay tuned and let's get the ball rolling. Okay,
Hey,
welcome
Mark.
to the call, Jonathan. Yeah, just take like 1 minute to introduce yourself, and then we'll get straight into it.
Okay. My name is, sorry, I just woke up. My name is Jonathan De La Rosa, and I'm 18 years old, and I live in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Good. I'm just setting up the other camera. Sorry. Okay, cool. And how did you hear about this whole coaching thing and so on and so forth?
That was just looking up YouTube videos, and I happened to run into your channel, and the newest video actually gave us the opportunity to do this, so
Okay.
I think I
Cool.
got pretty lucky.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Yeah, I mean, we've got like 15 minutes, so just give me your question and then we'll just start straight away.
Sweet. Okay. I got a few
Yeah,
questions,
got it written down. That's awesome.
and so the first one is, so like I've been trying to gain bulk. About maybe a year ago, I weighed 170 pounds, and now I weigh 190. So I guess I've kind of been doing it, but I mean it's been like 10 months since I started lifting weights, going to the gym, and I've gained 20, but it's not 100% muscle. I mean, I still got some body fat. So how do I, what type of foods do you personally take to gain bulk?
Right, so before we answer that question, I think I need a bit more information in terms of how long have you been training, and generally what is your goal? Like the overall, when you say, some people would be happy to gain like 20 pounds in a year, but you seem not to be happy, so give me an idea of that.
Um, well, I've been training since January. Well, actually, a few months before that, I began running. But in January, I got introduced to, I'm pretty sure you've heard of him, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Sure.
I got introduced to him, well, not personally, but I read his biography, and he's a bodybuilder, of course. So, got really inspired by him, and I began working out at home January. And since July, I've signed up for the gym, and I've been going, since last July. That's about 4 or 5 months, I think. And yeah, and my goal is well, I don't really have a goal. I want to be, well, my goal is to be incredibly ripped, maybe on stage, who knows, but I need to reach that peak weight that I desire.
So first of all, generally speaking, one thing people need to know is that Arnold Schwarzenegger is an amazing guy, and obviously he is an idol for a lot of people, but he also was on steroids. So
Yeah,
he admitted to it and so on and so forth. So someone to become that shape is just not possible by normal training. So getting inspired by him is absolutely fine. I just want to take the illusion away that people, when they look at these massive bodybuilders on stage, that's all natural body mass, because it isn't.
really.
Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah.
wow, my dreams destroyed. I'm just kidding. Uh, that is kind of true. Although I've been reading this bodybuilding book, and at the age of 16, he looked huge, and I don't think he took steroids at the age of 16. I might be wrong.
Well, I mean, the thing is, in Germany, what a lot of people don't know is in times of the separation in Germany, when it was divided, a lot of teams, sport teams, were actually put on steroids or muscle, growth hormone and stuff, without them knowing. So the actual coach gave them foods which were packed with steroids, so they were performing better. And later on, when they were when doping testing came out, they then actually figured out, oh my God, we were doped, which they didn't know. So, but with Arnold, it was clearly a case that, you know, he might have not said it in an interview, but it is clearly the case for him to be able to gain that sort of mass. But then also, what you have to know about him, he had a very, like you said, in his young age when he was 16, he had a very, very genetically gifted potential to become that sort of, you know, person. But let's go away from him. I just want to put that out there because the expectation might be a bit, you know, shifted, let's say. But being on stage is a great sort of point. And the other thing is, when you're 18 years old and you started training 5 months ago, like hitting the gym properly, is that right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can expect that your overall muscle growth, or the muscle you will pack on in the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year, will decline in terms of, you might be able to pack on, let's say, 20 pound of muscle, then 10, then 5, then 3, then 2, then 1.5, and then 0.5 per year of training. And at one time you will hit your genetically sort of limit of what you can pack on muscle. But then on top, when you are bulking and when you gain that size, you will always put on fat. That's just normal. So you kind of have to make the decision of saying, okay, I'm happy to be not fully shredded with 18. I might be able to put in the work for 2 years and really get the size. And then once you hit the 20, 21 years old, then you can really say, okay, I actually built my size and now I go into a cut. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
That's one way of doing it. The other way is, obviously, maybe you're like, well, you know, I want to be shredded. I want to be, at least in summer times, I want to look good. You could also do this cycling sort of thing. So you have your winter bulk and summer shred. I mean, a lot of people do that, and that works fine as well in your age. But I'm just saying, if you really want to go on stage and want to hit it hard, then maybe focus on gaining strength, getting bigger, sort of in a, not like eating food like crazy that you put on a lot of fat mass, but try to keep it sort of in a, let's say, 500 to 800 calorie surplus over a certain period of time, and that should work.
Okay. So, like, how many meals should I be eating per day? I heard that the more the better. How many meals do you eat, Mark?
Well, for example, on my 10-week program, which I'm doing now, where my approach is cutting, losing body fat, and that's the main priority, I'm doing intermittent fasting. So in terms of studies, it shows it doesn't matter if you eat 20 meals a day or 1 meal a day. If you get in your calories throughout the day, it could be in your lunch or dinner, that is sufficient. Now, you will have athletes, if you're an athlete, and you probably, if you want to go on stage, I would consider yourself as an athlete, then it makes sense to think about the meals around your workouts. So especially when you're cutting, it's different, but when you're bulking, you want to make sure that you get the nutrients before and after your trainings, because that is what's, you know, proven to stimulate muscle growth and protein synthesis after training and stuff like that. So you should do this. If you are the type of person who likes eating breakfast or likes eating in general, then it's a good thing because you want to bulk, right? But
Oh, yeah.
if you want to cut and you want to eat and you love eating, then that's a different situation. But so let's say you eat 2,500 calories or something for, or maybe 3,000 to gain some size. Then you could probably eat like 4 meals plus two snacks. That makes sense. You get up in the morning, get your breakfast in, and then maybe if you train, let's say, when do you train? What time normally?
It just depends whenever I can get to the gym.
Okay, so let's assume you would train around like 2 o'clock. So you get your breakfast in, and then around 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, like 1 hour before, you get a bit of carb heavy sort of meal in, so that you're carved up for the training. And then after training, you get your protein and carbs in again, and then at nighttime you have your last meal. And if you don't want to you don't need to do an intermittent fasting approach. I mean, you can do, but it has nothing to do with in terms of bulking. It's something you can combine, but it's not necessary. And then in between, if let's say you get up at 7 and your first meal would be at 1 o'clock, and you feel like you want to have a snack in between, you could have one at 11, like a fruit, like a banana or something. Same thing after your training and at nighttime when you have your, let's say, your meal at 9 p.m. at night and your last training, let's say you train like 2 hours, or no, not 2 hours, 1 hour. So you finish at 3, then you have another snack at 5. And that way you've got your whole day sort of your... People who are bulking, they're basically always eating. I mean, that's just how it is.
Last time I checked an app, I think I'm required 4,000 calories per day. Is that feasible?
The thing is, I mean, have you seen my calorie calculator, the one I've got on my website?
Uh,
No, yeah, doesn't matter. I mean, you can
should
also
probably go on there.
yeah, you can also find some online, not a big deal there. So at the end of the day, the more accurate you are in terms of height, weight, body fat percentage, and also output in terms of, because it's all a mathematical formula. So when they say 4,000, we don't really know, because it might be you have a really fast metabolism, or you're really, for whatever reason, you're eating that and you're not gaining any weight because you're just using that much, or you're gaining weight too fast, like you're actually putting on more fat than muscle, then also it's too much. So it's something where what I always say is, let's say it gave you the 4,000. So I would do a week of food with this 4,000 calorie target, would do like Monday to Sunday, and then the coming Monday you weigh yourself again and you just see how it goes. Like, how much weight did you really gain in that 1 week? And then you have sort of an indication of, are you on track or not? Does it make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, cool.
What is your weekly routine?
There's a coaching call for you, my friend. But
That's true.
I'm happy to answer this, but is there anything more specific to you, like what you want? Because if I answer that now, I'm not sure if that's the most value I can give you.
Okay. I've read that cardio is very important with weight training as well, lifting weights. Should I do it every day? I try to hit the gym six days out of the 7 in a week, and I do cardio every day. I run 1 mile on the treadmill. Should I do should I just do 3 days out of the week cardio? What's the best ratio in your opinion?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that question, because it's something which is very confusing out there, and it has to be addressed properly. So first of all, I need to know the weightlifting routine you're doing. Where did you get that from, and what kind of split are you doing at the moment with the 6 days?
Well, my goal is to make it make it to the gym 6 days a week, and Monday I do chest and back. The following day, Tuesday, I do shoulders and arms, and Wednesday I focus on legs, and then I repeat that all the way to Saturday, and then Sunday's my day off. But sometimes, I know I shouldn't, but sometimes I skip leg day on Sunday. One of my friends told me that you only require leg day 1 day a week. So,
Okay.
I mean, I've kind of put that into consideration.
Okay, so just let's break that down. Now, the thing is, this sounds like a very similar, I mean, a very common bodybuilding split in a way. This chest and back, arm day, shoulder day, and so on. So you really do that. Have you heard of push-pull legs? Have you heard of that before?
Push-pull legs, no.
So what that means is you divide your days in pushing motion. So everything you push, like a shoulder, push to the front, push down like dipping motions, that's 1 day. Pulling, like let's say deadlifts or pull-ups or T-bar rows, this is all a pulling day, so you put them all together on 1 day, and then you have a leg day. Reason why that is good, because you basically give one motion attention in terms of rowing, because if you do bench press, heavy bench press and heavy pulling, because you do chest and back day in one, it can be good, but the further you progress, the more you want to focus on making sure that you hit that sort of angle in one session. That said, I'm just wondering if I had that online, but the concept I'm following is a push-pull legs set, and you can do it 6 days a week. You could do push-pull legs, push-pull legs. So, but that's a lot of volume you're going to be putting in to your week. Now, when it comes to when your friend said, well, should I train legs twice? It really comes down to your development as a person. What are your weaknesses? So, for example, I wouldn't say skip leg day, but then also if your legs are massive, it doesn't make sense to train them twice a week, because maybe your quads and everything, they respond really well to workouts. And if you're at the beginning stages, you're going to pack on so much muscle at the lower bit of your body, and your upper body is going to look a bit funny because the proportion doesn't work. What I'm trying to say is, as you get bigger, try to have a look in the mirror and see which part of your body needs developing, and that's how you will then change your workouts around. Let's say your shoulders are weak, focus more on the overhead pressing and military pressing and stuff like that, and less on legs. But then on the other hand, the other way around. If your calves are small, then do calf raises, right? Let's say the cardio bit. When we talk about cardio, it is one of the most misunderstood things out there. First of all, you don't want to do cardio in the same session when you do weights. Reason being is because the easiest way I can describe it without getting too into the anatomy and physiology of your body is that your body switches on different things in your body in terms of what it does. And so if you're on the running machine running, you're sort of sending the signal to your body. Well, at the moment, it also depends how you're running. Are you running low intensity or high intensity? Are you doing it before your weight training or after your weight training? Because what you might have heard is that people say, well, if you go heavy lifting and then you do cardio afterwards, is a good thing, because when you do heavy lifting, your hormone response is there. You will have free fatty acids flying around your blood, and then when you go into the treadmill, you basically burn them off. Now, that's not really true. That's not how the body then works. And the other thing is, I wouldn't do cardio before your workouts as well, because you might sort of get exhausted with the cardio. And if you do focus on heavy lifting, you want to make sure that you're 100% focused when you go into your weightlifting sets, because exhausting yourself with the cardio beforehand doesn't make any sense. You want to make sure that you're always 100% when you go into your heavy lifts, and doing cardio beforehand is just going to is counterproductive. Especially now comes the point when you're building muscle, so you want to actually put on size. Cardio will be counterproductive as well. So what I'm trying
do it
to say,
afterwards.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't need to do cardio at all if you want to pack on size. If you want to cut down, if you're saying, want to get leaner, then we can talk about fasted cardio and high intensity interval training and stuff like that. And then last thing I know I'm talking about is if you are in sports performance, let's say, so it depends what your end goal is. So if your end goal is just looking the best shape, like shredded in your life, or is your end goal you want to be a professional soccer player, then the way you're going to be training or hitting the weights and cardio, the combination will be different, because as the soccer player needs to be able to run fast, quick on field, so he will combine squatting with sprint training and some endurance running. That is all going to be combined, and speed training on the floor, whereas the guy who's want to be on stage, he's just going to focus on heavy squats, really, at the end of the day. Right.
Yeah, for me, I think it's completely shredded.
Okay. Yeah, so then the approach will be very simple. You don't focus on cardio in your bulking phase, and you will add in some cardio, maybe 2 cardio sessions, depending on how much you really need them, on your cutting phase. And then it can be, for some people, they like doing low or moderate intensity for an hour, and some people like to do some high intensity sprints for 20 minutes. It then really depends how you respond to that. Good?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Good.
Ask more questions, or?
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes. One more question here.
Okay. So what's the best protein foods? I know I've heard eggs. Eggs are good. Salmon. What do you take for protein?
Yeah. So, Jonathan, the thing is, I'm not a big advocate of protein shakes. Reason being is that there are many reasons because we don't really know what's in it. There are some supplement companies out there which I trust with my life, and I would say they actually really put into that what is in there. But the FDA doesn't approve all of them, and is not at the moment. It's not that regulated, so it can be that you've got out of your protein powder. If they say there's one gram of carb inside, there might be 2 or 5 gram inside, or there might be something else inside which you don't know. So that's why I always advocate and say, if it isn't necessary, don't take it. You will get your protein, especially from normal foods. Like if you're a meat eater, it's pretty straightforward, simple. Red meat, some chicken, fish in moderation. Eggs is good because it's you've got all the amino acids in there. So getting the protein in from your actual food is not a big deal. And on top, what else? You will digest, and that's what I always say. You digest the chicken breast differently to protein powder. Even though people don't believe that and say, yeah, but it's the same, it's protein. But it's not, because your body, when you have the chicken breast and you eat it, you will have a harder time to break that down, which is a good thing because your body needs to sort of utilize that. Whereas the protein powder, when you drink it, it's not that satisfying, even though it's the same protein in a way, because you should have this satiety effect and don't be hungry if you eat protein. But in my experience in working with clients, it's just very clear that people who stick to whole foods and one ingredient foods, like a chicken breast, right? Not like anything processed, you will have a much better result than the ones who are on supplements.
Okay. And then for complex carbs, what are the best ones, before our workout so I can have the energy? I know you said, carbs before workout are the best. I've heard brown rice.
Yeah.
But what are your opinions?
Yeah. So when it comes to complex carbs, the one thing I touched on before is when we talk about fruits is not complex, but you don't want to take fruits after your workouts just because fruit gets metabolized in your liver, not in your muscle, and you want to replenish muscle glycogen. So the time to eat fruit, if you're really a fruit lover, then it is before your workouts, because you will top up a bit of your liver glycogen, but that gets also very fast depleted while you're working out. So that's one thing to know when to eat fruit. In terms of the complex carbs, it could be rice, it could be quinoa, it could be potatoes, stuff like that. What tends to work really well is oats. Oats is just something because it's very lean. It's easy to cook and to your body digests that quite quickly normally. So that's something you can have pre-workout or post-workout. It works both. But I mostly do is I take like 50 grams of oats before your workout when I'm in my bulking phase, and after your workouts you can have like brown rice or white rice or stuff like that.
Okay.
Easy.
Also, yes, that sounds good. Also, kind of an unrelated question, but it is related in some sorts. To make some cash, and so I'm thinking about YouTube, and you got 20,000 subscribers. How long have you been doing YouTube?
Well, I've got 30,000 now, by the way.
Congratulations.
No, I'm just kidding. So the thing is, if you are thinking of making money on YouTube, it's not about the money. You're not going to make a lot of money on YouTube. The thing is, what it will give you is a connection to your audience. If you get into the millions of views, then if you put some ads on, then you will earn some money with it. But money wasn't the driver for me, never. It was always connecting with my audience because, yeah, and how long have I been doing it? 2.5 years, but really focused on putting out content like 4 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Especially that one video that you got that reached 1 million.
Yeah, I know that skyrocketed. Now this is the thing. I would, if I were you, and if you really like YouTube and stuff, just start your journey and talk about your workouts and stuff, and just put them online. You'll see that over time people will start following you, asking you questions if you get results, and that's a nice thing to do. But it's obviously up to you if you like doing that stuff.
Absolutely.
Cool. Jonathan. Awesome. Jonathan, thank you very much for being on the call. and looking forward to seeing you in the chat room. Being active.
Right. So this is going to be on YouTube, correct?
Yes. Are you happy with that?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do a bicep flex really quick.
Okay, there you go. Give it all you have. Yeah, man. There you go. Like that. Okay.
All right.
Take care, man.
You take it easy, Marc, and
Yes.
you're very inspiring.
Thank you.
All right.